We have additional lighting and marking requirements for what's deemed wide IoH. But all the lighting and marking changes I'm going to be talking about do not take effect until November 1 of 2015. What is a wide IoH? Is any IoH exceeding 15 feet or that extends over the center of the roadway into a lane intended for opposite direction travel. So if your IoH is only 9 feet, 10 feet wide, but you're going over the center road, or you're forced to go to the center road, then you're deemed a wide IoH, and those lighting marking requirements do come into effect. What are the standards? Any lamp or light required must be lighted and visible at the time of operation on a highway. So anything exceeding 15 feet or crossing the center line, you have to have at least 2 amber flashing warning lamps, visible from both front and rear. It has to be visible from 500 feet from the front and rear as well. And it must be mounted to indicate the extreme width, not more than 16 inches from the extremities of the IoH. Also, on wide IoH, you need red retroreflective material on the rear of the vehicle. So basically, on the back of any IoH combination, you have to have the red retroreflective tape, and it has to be within 25 inches of the extreme left, extreme right of that IoH. You have to be able to see it from 500 feet away when your high beam headlamps are shown on it. You need yellow retroreflective tape on the front of your IoH, indicating the extreme lateral extremities of that IoH mounted within 16 inches. It doesn't tell you like how long or anything has to be. You just have to be able to see it from 500 feet away when headlights are shown on it. You will need at least 2 red tail lamps mounted symmetrically to the rear. Tail lamps are not required to be hardwired. When the legislature was writing the bill, they recognized that you have some pretty old equipment out there, and just the way it's configured, there's no way you can run wiring from the tractor to the end of an implement without maybe causing some damage to the wiring. So you are able to get battery-mounted lights that you can put on the rear of these of the IoH. But again, the lamps must be able to be seen from 500 feet away. If you have an IoH exceeding 22 feet in width, it must have an escort vehicle with hazard lights activated. Now that could be anything, it could be a car, it could be a truck, as long as hazard lights are on and activated. On a 2-lane highway, cars coming in both directions, the escort vehicle has to be in front of that IoH in excess of 22 feet. If you're on a 3-lane or 4-lane, that escort vehicle has to be to the rear of that IoH. Escorts are not needed for incidental travel. So anytime that farmer's going down from their main lane into the field within a half mile, you do not need that escort. So during times other than hours of darkness, extra lane marking is not required in these situations. So and the reason this is written out this way, basically in the law, if anything was manufactured before January 1 of 2014, they basically wanted to put some of these lighting marking standards in place whether your equipment's a year old or 40 years old. Now recognizing that any equipment 10, 15 years old, they're probably going to meet these lighting and marking requirements anyway, but we just want to say if you had the older equipment, there's these options in terms of getting the lighting marking on there for the safety of people using the road. Your newer equipment, so it also says in the statute that anything manufactured after January 1, 2014, that as it's manufactured, all the lighting equipment has to be operational. So while there's a separation there in terms of time, the ultimate goal is that we want the equipment to be lit and marked appropriately for safety of everybody. So on equipment manufactured before 2014, if you're operating during the daytime, this is available to you. You do not have to have the lighting marking if you're accompanied by an escort vehicle, or if you have the 2 orange or red flags, 12 inches square, at the rear of the IoH at the lateral extremities of that vehicle. For a train, during hours of darkness, on each side of the vehicle of the train, you have to have at least one red or amber light, or one red or amber reflector, or one SMV symbol to the rear of the vehicle, as indicated by these right here. The daylight flag that was under statute, in statute, has been rescinded, basically because nobody ever did it. Some current marking and lighting standards. So this is current law, not what's, so you have to have the SMV symbol must be displayed on any vehicle or equipment, including animal drawn, which usually travels less than 25 miles an hour. Must be displayed day or night. You cannot operate implement husbandry during hours of darkness unless you meet the standards here. 2 white lamps visible to the head, 2 red tail lamps, or 2 red reflectors displayed at the rear. What does that mean? Exactly this. They don't want your work lights, it's not like they don't want, you cannot have your work lights operate on a roadway or in the right of way, just the headlamps. And under current law, only 1 red tail lamp is required at the moment. During hours of darkness, any IoH that extends 4 feet or more to the left of the center line of the power unit itself, 4 feet out, you need these reflectors on the left side facing forward.